Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vintage Cube. I am very, very excited to have this format back. It is by far my favorite format, and we have a pretty medium pack to start off. Actually, that's not quite true. There's some pretty strong cards in here, but nothing like, Black Lotus caliber. The three main cards that I'm looking at are Mana Vault, very, very cheap acceleration, lets you play a 5-drop on turn 2. Remand, and Palace Jailer. And I think Palace Jailer is actually the pick here. I'm not going to force mono white at all, but Palace Jailer is just on that level of card. It's like you can play this card in any deck. Like I think I'm going to second pick Teferi here. This is not necessarily a mono white card, but it is just good in any deck that has creatures that are playing to the board. And if we're getting this early, we can make sure that that's a priority. Now, yeah, I guess we do need to decide. Teferi versus Esper Sentinel. The Sentinel is pretty good. It's a lot better in constructed, I think, than it is in cube, but it's still a very solid 1-drop. If mono white's really open, this could be incredible, but I think we will take the Teferi and then speculate, and then see if this comes around. And if cards like Esper Sentinel are wheeling, then mono white's super open and we can go in that direction. But I think Teferi is the move here. It's not as aggressive. It's setting us up to be a little bit more interactive, but it's just such a good card. Yeah, let's take that. Okay, now we have a few options. There's Sword of Fire and Ice if we're trying to be a Stoneforge Mystic deck. There's Bribery if we want to be more blue-eye control. Prismatic Vista is good fixing. And then there's two solid white 3-drops. And I think I'm going to take the Recruiter of the Guard because it can find Palace Jailer. Yeah, that seems reasonable. If this was like a Tundra, I might take it. It would be good fixing even as Prismatic Vista, but getting Palace Jailer is so good in a deck that is playing Palace Jailer. So I think that's worth it. And now we get the Hallowed Fountain. That's great. So Arcane Proxy exiles an instant or sorcery and lets you cast it. That's fine, but not thrilling. Pretty easy Hallowed Fountain here. There are a couple white cards that would be fine, but yeah, let's take this very happily. All right, solid start. Sort of a white mid-rangey thing. We need some interaction for the combo decks, most likely in the form of counter magic, but we have some time to get there. Okay, now we have two main options. So first, I'll note that blue is looking pretty cut. If we can find Stoneforge Mystic, then Batterskull is a great pickup. We have Recruiter of the Guard to find it too, but it's pretty weak on its own, and in that case, we would rather have History of Benalia. History of Benalia is pretty good. It's also even better with stuff like Flicker Wisp and Teferi. Yeah, I'll take the History of Benalia. It's close. I'll regret this if we get Stoneforge, but we're not super likely to get Stoneforge. It's also less good when you can only play one Stoneforge Mystic. When you're playing like 60 cards in Constructed and you have one Batterskull for Stoneforge, you're much more likely to find a Stoneforge than the Batterskull. But it's pretty common when you only have one of each that you just like get stuck with a random Batterskull in your hand early that's pretty weak. Okay, Steel Seraph is kind of interesting. I haven't played with this card before. This is kind of a decision point. Elspeth is a great card. So if we're going a little bit bigger, then Elspeth is the pick. If we want to be more aggro, this is fine. But it's still not even that good if you're hyper aggro. So I think I am going to take the Elspeth here. Set to be a little bit more of a grindy deck. Ooh, interesting. Smuggler's Copter is great. There's also Thraben Inspector. And I think this might be a deck that actually wants Thraben Inspector more, since we are looking to be a bit more mid-range. Copter is so good, though. But you need to have a really high creature count for that. But we do... Oh, man, it's close. This also does help us cut white. I think I'm going to take the Inspector, although it's a very close pick. So white is looking very open. Blue is not looking that open. Okay, interesting. There's Selfless Spirit, which does a medium white beater. Consider is decent for digging through our deck. And then there's Retrofitter Foundry, which is pretty good, but it's better in a harder control deck where you have a lot of instants. how good is Selfless Spirit in this deck? It does help us to curve out. We're not really looking like a Thalia deck. I think I'm going to take the Consider. It's close. If we end up being basically mono white splashing Teferi, this is less good, but I'm kind of hoping to be more actual blue white and not be like all in on being aggressive here. I'll take the Porcelain Legionnaire here. Like I'm definitely planning on playing a lot of creatures. We're a Palace Jailer deck, but what I'm hoping for is to be like sort of creatures that are good on offense and defense, that are cheap and play to the board and pressure planeswalkers, but then have the ability to grind in the late game as well. I think I would play some mana rocks here, like an Azorius Signet would be a decent pickup, even though that's not typically a card that you want to play in your Porcelain Legionnaire decks. Wow, the Sentinel came around. I was not expecting that. I'll happily take that. Elite Spellbinder came around as well. Okay. White is incredibly open. I'm beginning to kind of wish we had gone more towards white aggro now. We could have had Selfless Spirit over Consider and Arcane Proxy or whatever. I don't remember what it's called. That like prototype 3-drop over Elspeth. What that card does is it's like essentially a 3 mana 3/3 that at the beginning of combat on your turn, it gives one of your creatures flying or lifelink or first strike or one of those various keywords. It's not great, but it's not bad. Wall of Omens, Kitchen Finks, Mutavault. Okay, this is kind of a decision point. Do we want to be a little bit more aggressive or more controlling? Um, I think I'm going to take the Wall of Omens here. Lean a bit more in the controlling direction. It's like very good against aggro, and it also is good if we end up with any blink synergies. This is looking like a deck that could potentially play Restoration Angel and things like that. Plus, we're a bit heavier on 3-drops, not as many 2s. Okay, super late Lingering Souls. White is open. I reiterate. All right, there's a Teferi. So that's like great. I mean, that's the best card we could have gotten, maybe among them at least. Um, both of these two cards should come around. Rafine's Tower would be nice for flashing back Lingering Souls, and then like Glen is a pretty solid blue creature as well. But pretty easy Teferi here. This is just great. Plays really well with History of Benalia, decently with our like Wall of Omens, Thraben Inspector game plan, and is just a great card on its own. Yeah, I'll very, very happily take that. Ooh, there's an Oko, but I don't think we can stretch the mana that thin. Um, yeah, that seems a little greedy. Spell Pierce is decent, but let's be disciplined here. Take the Marsh Flats. Maybe something like this comes around, but like I don't want to just have too many blue cards with terrible blue fixing. I really would like to be able to play this card, but I think Marsh Flats is the right pick here. This also could be a Ledger Shredder deck, but Marsh Flats for now. Okay, interesting. There's some really good white 4-drops, but there's also Tundra and Watery Grave if we want to try and splash Lingering Souls. I think we just take the Tundra. Although Gideon could be that level of card. No, let's take the Tundra. I love this card. I hope it wheels, and I think there's a good chance it will. But we have so many playables. Yeah, we have so many playables. Let's take the Tundra. Ooh, opposition. Okay, that's sweet. I think we just take that and move in. We have a reasonable number of creatures already. This is looking like a good opposition deck. This makes me want the Lingering Souls even more, so I hope we can get a black land. Um, but yeah, that's really sweet. Little blue-white opposition right off the bat. Plays well with Elspeth. Okay, now, I don't think we're a Lurrus deck. We don't have that many things that we can cast off of it. So it's between Cathar Commando and Usher of the Fallen. Cathar Commando is a better card. Usher of the Fallen plays a bit better with opposition, but I still think we take the Commando here. We don't have much interaction, and this helps with that. I haven't put together too many opposition decks, so I'm excited to get a chance to give it a go here. Blue white. This makes me want the Teferi or the Gideon, of course. Just anything that makes multiple bodies is very good with opposition. Right now, the cards that especially combo with it are Elspeth, Souls, History of Benalia, Recruiter, Wall, Thraben Inspector to some extent. Hmm. Okay, there's a Verdant Catacombs, but that doesn't help us yet. It can get Overgrown Tomb, but that's kind of bad. Oh, we can actually, well, yeah. Relic Order is good. Destroy Evil is also kind of good. Hmm. I might take the Sower, though. Yeah, let's take the Sower. We're a little bit mid-rangey here, and this is a good card that is situationally incredible that we can find off of Recruiter of the Guard. And now we'll take Elspeth, which plays with the Lingering Souls. Now, ooh, Dark Confidant would be really nice. So would Bitter Blossom, but I think we do just take some more fixing. Now we have a couple double blue cards, so let's really make sure we can cast our spells. This deck is looking pretty sweet. It's a close call if we want to play a Swamp or not for those Lingering Souls. Depends on how much more fixing we get. But being like primarily two colors and having four dual lands already, like not even end of pack 2 yet, is a good start for getting our fixing there. I don't think it's super likely that Gideon comes around, but I really hope he does. All right, we can take a Spectral Procession. The mana could be dicey for playing a couple basic islands, but it's so good with opposition that I think it is worth going for anyways. Now we get, okay, this was the Gideon pack, so it didn't wheel. No real surprise there. Do we want Ledger Shredder or Baneslayer Angel? I think probably Ledger Shredder. This is better when you have cantrips, and we don't have that many, but still pretty good. It's hard to kill. It triggers on your opponents as well. Oh, excellent. I've never been more happy to be wrong. We will slam Gideon. This deck is looking great. Um, I think we can cut these from the main deck, potentially. I'm happy to play them, but we are going to need to make a lot of cuts. Okay, Winds of Abandon. I don't really want to play this in the main deck, but we have no other creature removal, so we might have to. And if we are able to cut it, it'll be a good sideboard card. Okay, Usher of the Fallen, pretty good late pickup. Leon and Relic Ward, also good late pickup. And last pick, Exhume. Okay. All right, I mean, yeah, I'll take a Mox. It's not the best Mox, but it is a Mox nonetheless. Colonnade would be good as well. Oust would be pretty good. But, I mean, yeah, easy, easy Mox. We will take this and be happy about it. Okay, now we have Giver of Runes. Not too much else. I don't think Tropical Island helps us at all. We could play Ravages of War, but we have a pretty high curve. I think there's a good chance Giver comes around, but I think we still take it because there's nothing else in this pack that we're going to play. Ooh, nice. Underground Sea is a good pickup. I would play Spell Queller too, but Underground Sea turns on Lingering Souls. It gives us two black sources, which is pretty nice. And Queller is like decent, but also might come around. Yeah, let's take this. All right, this deck is really coming together. I'm not looking forward to making the final round of cuts, though. All right, interesting pickup here. These two white three drops are both good, but there's a couple problems. Well, we don't have much removal, so Council Judgment would help there. Adeline is good with opposition, but it's another three drop, and we have a ton. Sunbit Canyon is an interesting option because it helps just to mitigate flood. Um, and it's like a land. Upgrading our mana base is much better than upgrading our spells, but I think we actually still just need to take Council Judgment, given that we have so little removal. Yeah, having access to like just one hard, really like just perfect removal spell that can exile anything, I think will be worth it. There will be some games where our hand gets clogged on three, and that's a problem, but I think it's still the right pick. We're gonna have to make some truly brutal cuts. Ooh, wow. Huh. Okay, so Mother of Runes is amazing, obviously. This is one of the best white cards in the format. Skull Clamp is also kind of amazing here. We have Lingering Souls and Spectral Procession and two Elspeths that are all very, very good with it. The problem is, like, I'm not really looking for more card draw and, like, grindy spells. Like, I want to upgrade the mana base, which makes me want to take the Caracas. We don't have any legends ourselves, but it's very good interaction with what the opponents are doing. Man, close pick here. These are like normally it would be an easy Caracas and no spell would be close. These are two of the only ones that would make it close, but I think I'm still taking the Caracas. Yeah, really close one, but like you'll see. This card is just amazing. It's gonna save us in at least one game, guaranteed. All right, now we have Venser to pair with the Caracas we just got, or the Wandering Emperor. And I think we take the Wandering Emperor. Venser's good, but I guess we do have Recruiter to find it. But the Wandering Emperor is removal, and it also makes multiple bodies, which is so good with the opposition. So I think we want to take that. Close pick. I think we. Oh man. Well, yeah. So if the draft ended now, we could play 10 basics. That would be 16 lands plus a Mox, and I would be pretty comfortable with that being the final deck. But we're gonna need to make some more cuts, almost definitely. Okay. We'll take GTA. Another just phenomenal pack. Both of these two three drops would be good as well, but GTA is just amazing. It's better when you have Stoneforge, but you don't need Stoneforge to make it good. Now we need to consider what to cut. Ledger Shredder might be the cut. Like, we're kind of a deck that's just trying to curve out, and if you're playing like Ledger Shredder on turn 2, 3 drop on turn 3, 4 drop on turn 4, the Shredder becomes worse. It's still okay. Okay. None of these cards are that good for us, so we'll take Horizon Canopy just to mitigate mana flood. Leonin Relic Order is also potentially dicey if it's hard to cast. Hmm. Okay, I think I will cut the Shredder from the main deck. We'll bring it back in against decks that are like blue decks, basically. Decks that are going to be playing cantrips and stuff like that. Ooh, Colonnade came around. That is amazing. Karmic Guide could be an interesting option as well, at least for the sideboard, but not a card we need in the main. Alright. Ravagers of War is a decent wheel. We could bring it in against some like weird control decks. Both of these black cards, actually, honestly, all three of these black cards would be decent, but we only have two black sources, so that's fine for something like Lingering Souls, but I'm not too interested in just playing a full-on black card. Ooh, Queller Wield. That seems pretty nice here. Could also take the Sword of Body and Mind for the sideboard. So this is good against blue and green. This is good against red and white, just as a cheap creature. And then this is like counter magic. Yeah, I think Spell Queller is worth taking here. Now we get Adeline. All right. Wow, Mother of Runes and Skull Clamp both wield. I think we take the Mom. I love Skull Clamp, but Mother of Runes is just is that good. All right, Sculler and last pick Wingmare, which I think we're not main decking, but like I mean we got it all. White is so open, so we have a really powerful sideboard. What do we cut here? I think I'll move Relic Warder to the board. We need to cut one of these threes. Maybe it is the History of Benalia. One more cut. I really like all these planeswalkers. Adeline. I guess we cut Adeline. Like it. You really want to have a creature that can attack already when you play this, and we do have some one drops. I guess we have a lot of one drops. Oh man, what is the cut here? I can't cut opposition. I just really want to try it. Maybe Elspeth is a little too high on the curve. But at that point, I think I'd rather. Well, yeah, we'll cut this Elspeth from the main deck. Go a little lower to the ground. Um, Still plenty of grinding capability. And then we have a very strong sideboard. Do we want Ledger Shredder over like Elspeth? No. Uh, no. It's really, really close. Could also just play like one of Consider. We'll try Ledger Shredder. It's really good. Yeah, we'll try the Shredder. Okay, so if we did this, that would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue. That's honestly more than we need. For white, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's great. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. We should never have any colored issues. I'm still not going to play a swamp. I think two black sources is fine for just the one lingering souls. But yeah, we'll run it like this. This deck is amazing, and we have an amazing sideboard. Always a good place to be. I feel a little bit bad about running two Elspeths in the board, but what can you do? See you in round one. All right, here we are for round one. We're on the play. Always a good place to be. One lander with a tapped land. I think we got to ship that. This I'll keep, though. Kind of interesting. Do we just... I think we do just jam Esper Sentinel on turn one, so we're not really going to be able to use Shredder effectively. So let's put that back. And then we can play Sentinel into Thraben Inspector on turn two, probably. And turn one Esper Sentinel is very strong against a lot of decks. It's not always good. If they're playing like mono green, it might be underwhelming, but there's a good chance that this will draw us at least one card. Or make them, I mean, it's one mana that we're spending on it. If they spend like 2 mana playing around it, that's a win. They might be debating whether or not to let us draw a card here. Rafine's Tower. Okay. Let's just play the Cathar Commando. Hit for one and pass. So, somewhat heavy blue, likely Esper Control. And no play. All right, we'll jam the Commando. We don't have a ton of gas in our hand, but we're hitting for 4. We can draw some cards off of these two. Colony gives us some late game inevitability, so I'm fine just building up the board kind of slowly and pushing damage where we can. So that resolves. That's good. Take 4. And then we'll play Plains Inspector. And they just untap. So, I mean, yeah, this is looking good. We have quite a board presence here, and they don't really have anything going. My guess is that they played around the Esper Sentinel and, like, held off on playing their Signet or something. Chart of course. Okay, that's so slow. And Esper Sentinel doing some good work here. It's already hit for 2 damage, and they've spent as much mana as we did on it. And yet we still have the Sentinel in play. This is even better if you have ways to boost its power. We don't really, we could find Jite, but we don't need to. This is totally fine, even if it only has one power. They discard Mana Leak, which lines up very poorly against what we're doing over here. Okay. Well, that's bad. We could crack the Canopy, but I think I'm going to set up to start swinging with Colonnade soon, since we're hitting them down to 10 here. So a 4-4 with flying is a very real threat. Marsh Flats can grab our Underground Sea, which turns Lingering Souls into a phenomenal top deck. If they have a board sweeper, um, that would be kind of bad. Actually, that would just be bad. They could play like Land, Wrath of God. We would get to draw a card off of Esper Sentinel, but we wouldn't have that much gas left. We'll see what they do. Duretti. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's kind of bad. The 1/1 is decent, but that doesn't like drastically change our position. We could crack this Cathar Commander to kill the. No, we don't want to do that. Let's just untap. Elite Spellbinder. Okay. Let's find our Underground Sea and then take a look at their hand. Okay, that is a lot of good stuff in that hand over there. Um, Unholy Heat seems like it's probably going to be the best card. So let's take that. And then I think we just push damage. They're going to get to. Like, it's not great if we just trade this Cathar Commando for a construct, but I think our plan is to just try and kill them with the Colonnade next turn, or like kill them with Colonnade. So we make this attack, they block here, take 2, go to 6, and then we'll have a few flyers. Wish we had burn of some sort. Like they win the long game. We can't try to outgrind them at all with this hand. I kind of feel like they should have just not. They should have just let us draw cards off of Esper Sentinel. They've slowed themselves down so much by doing all this stuff. Um, and now they might just end up dying with a ton of cards in their hand. They did draw Mountain, which is the worst case scenario. They can play a Braid and Unholy Heat now. They could also play a Braid and then cycle Shark Typhoon for 1. Okay, they play Glorybringer. If they attack and exert, that's fine. So we're going to hit them back down to 1. Okay, good draw. So let's animate. And then do we want to send Esper Sentinel? No. Let's just send Thraben Inspector, Esper Sentinel. They can yeah, send these two. They can put us to they can go to 1 if they want, or they can jump block this. Oh, I should have said good luck to this person back. Sorry, person. Um so yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they block here. That would turn off if they take it, there turns off like fetch lands and stuff, but they don't have anything right now that they would mess up too bad. Okay, they go to 1. Then we'll drop Giver into play and pass. Can they claw back? Honestly, I think if they play optimally, they probably can, but they really need to play well. I mean, they're at 1. We have Manland. We have 3 1-power creatures. They need to kill the Giver of Runes. They could still go Unholy Heat plus a Braid, though. They could go like Duretti sack to kill Giver of Runes. They probably do need to kill the Giver here. Duretti sack to kill the Giver of Runes. Shark Typhoon, a Braid, but they still that only accounts for 3 of the creatures. So actually, I think they might be dead here. They could go a Braid Giver plus Duretti. That blocks all of our creatures on the ground. Actually, no, that survives. Yeah, a Braid Giver of Runes for 2 mana plus Duretti. So you have 2 blockers that can block the Thraben Inspector and the Esper Sentinel. And then Cycle Shark Typhoon for 1 to chump block. Okay, they go for this line, which I don't think wins based on the cards that they have available to us. I could be missing something. Or they could have drawn something that would change the calculation. Their deck looks kind of sweet. I mean, all we've seen in terms of spells is blue red, so I don't know what the black and white are for. This looks like a good matchup for Vrinwing Mare. Also, could be a matchup for Ravagers of War. All right. So they didn't find the line. A complicated position. I don't blame them, but I do think they could have at least survived one more turn there. What do we not want? Okay, I actually think this isn't a matchup where we cut opposition. Against decks that have a lot of removal, cards like opposition become worse. We can bring in Wingmare, which also makes us, we want to have a high creature count if we're playing Wingmare. If we're cutting opposition, then Wall of Omens becomes a bit worse. So we could cut Wall and play History of Benalia for more threats. Our curve is kind of clunky here, but I think that's okay. Do we want to play like Elspeth? Ledger Shredder seems good against them. Could cut Council's Judgment. No, I think I'll just run it like this. All right, on the draw, obviously that's a little bit worse for us, but we got a really good hand. I mean, not astonishing, but any hand of the Mox and like stuff to use it on is going to be nice. So we can play turn 2 Recruiter, turn 3 Palace Jailer. Keep. And then also having the removal spell is not bad. It's especially good if we are trying to play Palace Jailer. Happy to see no Soul Ring or any shenanigans like that. Not happy to see another land. Riftwind Cloudscape. Okay, that's pretty good against us being the Monarch. Okay, that's an interesting draw. I was planning on playing the Recruiter and setting up Palace Jailer, but given that they suspended Riftwing, I think I'm actually going to play the Wingmare first, and we're going to wait until this comes down to play Palace Jailer. Because, like, a hasty flyer that bounces a creature, that's, like, the best possible thing to become the Monarch. And I don't want to deal with them becoming the Monarch and then us needing to fight to take it back. They might just go, like, 3 mana a Braid on the Vryn, and that's fine. Okay, this is too many lands, but it's fine. Hit them for 2. And then we'll play this, and so we could get, if we wanted to be, like, we could just play, like, Mother of Runes or something this turn. But I think I would rather take the Palace Jailer still. They know about it, which does make it a bit worse, but this still seems fine. And then we're hopefully not going to, or almost definitely not playing it this turn, but then we can play it next turn. Ooh. I thought we could play that, but we actually, because of the Wingmare we can't. Let's attack with both. Best case scenario, they actually kill our Wingmare. Looks like they're not going to do that. So I think we just go land go. Kind of awkward, but I think that's fine. They were likely holding up Mana Leak. So now they get to do this, and they almost definitely... Well, they could bounce Vryn Wingmare if they need to play a spell this turn, or they could bounce Colonnade. Bouncing Colonnade would be kind of... Okay, they bounce the Vryn. That's fine. They can play a 5-drop now if they want. And we'll see. Like, if they go Glorybringer or something, then we're pretty far behind on board. But we have the option of both of these heavy hitters, and we could also go Council Judgment into Vryn Wingmare if they play something really scary, like their own Teferi. Opponent's deep in thought over there. They also might be worried about us having something. I mean, passing with 5 mana typically indicates that you're holding up something, and I wish we were, but we are not. Worth noting, this Teferi could be an Archangel Avacyn, and the Archangel would be much, much better in this position. That's aggressive. Okay. I think I'm going to jam Teferi here. I think it's pretty likely to get countered. But it's going to be countered likely no matter what. I guess if it's Mana Leak, that's kind of awkward. But I'm fine just trading and hitting for damage here. I think this is like... I mean, they're hitting for more damage, but our hand is stacked. Like, getting the counterspell out of their hand seems fine. The other option would be to just animate Colonnade, but that seems a little dicey. I don't want to be in a position where we have, like, lots of spells in our hand at the end of the game, but we still lose. Bribery. That is just bad. People play Bribery in the worst decks. Like, or I mean, it should be in your main deck. But when you see what we're doing, like, this is not a matchup for that. They can take Elite Spellbinder if they want, but then we can Palace Jailer. Like, they know that we have the Palace Jailer. Yeah, this is always sideboard out Bribery unless the opponent is playing 6-drops. Like, that's just a good rule of thumb. If you're playing Bribery to get, like, a random 3-drop, that's like, A, you're spending 5 mana on a 3-drop. B, putting their creature into play is a liability because it's bad against Flicker Wisp, Bounce stuff, Palace Jailer, anything like that. And then C, it's a non-creature spell when we're playing Brynling Mare, Esper Sentinel. Just not a card you want in this matchup. They take the Palace Jailer. This is fine. Now, I think I just jammed the Palace Jailer. Yes, they can become the Monarch, but then we get the Elite Spellbinder. Oh, does that change anything? So how much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we could play Wandering Emperor, exile Riftwind Cloudskate, and then play Vryn Wingmare. That's one option. Another option is to just play Palace Jailer. I think I like playing Wandering Emperor plus Vryn here. Let's attack them for 1. I don't want to let them draw extra cards. So if they attack the Wandering Emperor with the Elite Spellbinder, I'm just going to let that happen. Like, yes, we could block and keep our Planeswalker alive, but I want the Vryn Wingmare to be in play, and I also want the Elite Spellbinder to be in play so we can get it with the Palace Jailer. If they play Glorybringer here, that's kind of bad, but then we can play They would kill this. But then we could play Palace Jailer, take their Elite Spellbinder. The Glorybringer wouldn't untap. We should be the Monarch. Seems okay. Jace the Mind Sculptor. This is fine. They bounce the Vryn. Now we're just gonna get to be in a phenomenal position. They kill their Wandering Emperor, but then we hit their Jace down to 1. We play Palace Jailer. If they ever become the Monarch, we get the Elite Spellbinder back. Really good position all around. Okay. And I guess we'd play the Horizon Canopy and plan on cracking end of turn, probably. They are going to get to untap with Jace. That's obviously not ideal, but if we're drawing 2 cards a turn from the Monarch, it's less bad that they're also drawing 2 cards with Jace. Teferi, good pickup. Kind of close if we want to cycle this Horizon Canopy or not. I'm leaning towards yes, but we do have a lot of uses of mana between the Colonnade and our 3 drops in our hand. See, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we don't crack the Canopy, we could play all 3 of our 3 drops. Obviously playing the Rinwing Mare last. We crack the Canopy, we could find some more gas, but we could probably just crack the Canopy the turn after. So I think I will leave it in play most likely, but it does depend somewhat on what they do. We're also going to be in the nice position of having Teferi in play when we attack, so we'll know what we need to do to kill the Jace. Okay, they kill the Palace Jailer. That is fine. Coercive Portal. Okay. This seems totally fine. I think I'm still not going to crack this, though. Caracas, alright. So let's go. Do we want to play the Caracas? No, I'll hold it just in case they invest a bunch of mana in a non-creature. Or in a legendary creature. Okay, that works. So now we can kill the Jace without worrying about it. They only have 1 card. Wow. Really nice opponent. They say GG's here. We'll attack the Jace. Uh, Bounce the portal. Wow, that was a good draw. So this is just a sweet card in our deck. It's good already, but it's incredibly good with Teferi because Teferi prevents them from using this. So you can like play Spell Queller, exile their thing, bounce your own Queller back to your hand. They can't play the thing. And then you can just like Queller something else. All right, sweet. I think our opponent is right here. This deck does seem very, very good. See you in round 2. All right, we have our opponent for round 2. Pastor of Muppets, funny name. And good hand, we'll keep this. Got the old Teferi, always feels good. No 2 mana play at the moment, but we can just crack the Thraben Inspector clue if necessary. Planes. Thraben Inspector, pass. Okay, Sensei's Divining Top is not that good of a card in most decks. We'll just hit for 1, pass. I'm a little bit conditioned to playing Modern recently, so I saw that and I was like, oh, it's going to be Goblin Guide. But I forgot Not every deck is like that in Vintage Cube. Lion Sash. All right. That's perfect. Something that we can bounce for value with Teferi. I think that is better than. Yeah, I think getting the Teferi is better. Down is better than playing Recruiter here. And now we're just in a great position. Good hand, Teferi on the board. We have the only creature. Caracas to deal with a lot of stuff. We don't have double blue at the moment. That's the only problem, but we don't have any blue spells, so hopefully shouldn't be too bad. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's a pretty good one. Porcelain Legionnaire. Okay, so we have a few options. We could play Recruiter. I think what I'm going to do is just hold up the Wandering Emperor, though. So we can give it +1/+1 at first strike, so this will kill the Goblin Shaman. They're going to get 1 mana out of it, but I think that's fine. And then next turn, we'll be able to untap with the Wandering Emperor and Teferi, and we don't need to worry about any shenanigans because we know that Teferi shuts down all of their instants. So I'm feeling pretty good against most things, like sort of yeah, most mid-rangey piles. Like the problem is if they go really big, if they like go Omnath into some expensive stuff. Oh, Minsk and Boo. Okay. This is my first time ever playing against this card. It's pretty good, but I think the thing that it makes is legendary. Yeah, so we have Caracas, which makes Minsk and Boo a lot less scary. We can also just kill it by attacking it, potentially. If they plus this, it goes to 4. I guess we can't quite kill it right now on board. I'm excited to play. I've never cast this card before, and I'm excited to play with it at some point. Okay, so this happens. So they're sending both at Teferi. So we can't keep Teferi alive, but that's fine. Let's just play this. Buff this. Kill the Shaman. We lose our Teferi now, but then we can use Caracas to mess up the Minsk and Boo. Um, so let's play. Let's make it 2/2. Play Recruiter of the Guard for Palace Jailer. I think this is going to get Palace Jailer like 90% of the time. Play Mother of Runes. Caracas. Hit Minsk for 2. This is at the beginning of your upkeep, right? At the beginning of your upkeep, yeah. So now we can just mess up their thing pretty easily. We don't want to let them -2 this. That would let them. This card is so good. Like, come down as a 4/4 with trample and haste. Then next turn deals 4 damage and draws 4 cards. And then just like keeps on doing more stuff. Okay, so they spin the top and before the Minsk and Boo trigger. I don't. This is like a kind of weird design. It would be fun to play with, maybe, but like sometimes it just does nothing because they like bolt your Minsk with a thing on the stack, and then sometimes it's like It just makes like a 2020 trampling hamster while drawing cards and dealing damage. This seems like it's gonna be rare where this is like a pretty good card, which I mean is what it is. Like I typically find it more interesting when cards have a little bit more like lead to close games, whereas this will often just like do nothing or be game ending. This is kind of more in the do nothing category. It did kill my Teferi, but like this +1, it only targets creatures with trample or haste. They could like sack this if they wanted to deal 2 damage to something, but that's pretty underwhelming for a 4 mana planeswalker. That's sacrificing your 3 mana thing. All right, they go for it. That's fine. Minsk was not that scary there. We do lose our Mother of Runes, but I still think we're in a great position. We have 3 creatures and a planeswalker, plus the mana advantage and a good hand. Do we just jam Palace Jailer, is the question. There's the Lion Sash that we knew about. Um, Interesting draw. I think we just push. Yeah, I think we just do everything. So, well, I guess I'll hold the Porcelain Legionnaire in case they have a board sweeper, but I will take out the Lion Sash. All right, make another 2/2. Take 5. And then next turn, I guess we can't quite swing for lethal, but we're very close, and we're the Monarch, and I mean, they would need something really special here. They also don't have double blue, so they can't play something like Upheaval. Winds of Abandon. All right, fair enough. They do, and we only have 3 more basics. So they do sweep our board, but you gotta like this position. We're still the Monarch. Draw a card on turn. Mox Ruby is a bad draw. All right, let's take a look at their hand. Escape to the Wilds, that's a good thing to increase the cost of. This can get one more thing, so we should get that before we run out of sources. Oh, wait, it can get a lot more things. Uh, do we want to jam everything? I think I will just jam everything here. Like, we know that they don't have a sweeper now. Even if they do sweep again, that's fine. All right, so they just swept our board, but we rebuilt pretty quickly. Are we threatening lethal next turn? Almost definitely. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16. So plenty of damage next turn. So they're playing like 4 color good stuff. They're probably playing Omnath. I mean, their deck looks sweet. Their card quality is very high. But I think our deck is more sweet, probably. Dak Faden is not that good against us. We only have the 1 Mox. I guess we have Legionnaire too. This seems like another matchup where Bryn Wingmare is probably good. And in fact, maybe that should just be in the main deck. Yeah, it probably should. But I'll add that back. All right, did they find the sweeper? This is definitely not going to get the job done. I mean, I guess it keeps them alive if they chump block. So we will plus, land, GT, equip. All right. So, pretty good round 1. They don't have that much removal, which could make Sower good, but they also don't have that many creatures that are super Sowerable. These creatures both seem decent. Is this a GT matchup? We could cut the GT, but they're playing Naya. Although they have Dak. Yeah, let's cut the GT. Bring in these two. Bring out Hmm. So I kind of want to play this. I guess Minsk and Boo really could be a big problem now that I'm thinking about it. It was fine there, but like there's a lot of situations where it will just run over us. Could cut Lingering Souls if they're playing the thing that exiles cards from our graveyard. Could also cut Ledger Shredder, especially on the draw. Hmm. Close, close. What to cut? Might just cut Porcelain Legionnaire. It's another card that is bad against Dak. Yeah, I'll cut the Legionnaire. It's just kind of replaceable. Then do we want to play this Gideon? I mean, this Elspeth. Man, so many good options. Good problem to have. This does seem worth it. We saw like signets and stuff. Yeah, I'll run it like this. It's close. There's also an argument for cutting Esper Sentinel in the draw, but it's still very good if we have it in the opening hand. And we do. This hand seems pretty good. We need some lands, but we have blue and white mana. We have one drop, two drop, including messing up their mana development. And then we have our best card. Opponent's down to five. Hopefully they're able to keep their five. All right, nice. They got a good five. They're on the play. Let's see what you got. Ketria Triumph. Black Lotus. All right. Turn one Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That's pretty good. I don't love the idea of taking out the Fable with Leon and Relic Warder because they can just, like, if they kill the Relic Warder, they get the Fable back starting from the beginning and they get another Goblin Shaman. So I might just, if they don't use the treasure, I think I'm just going to Leon and Relic Warder to take out the treasure. They do use it. Oh, I mean, this is just great. So we get to draw a card, and then we get to take out their thing. And then we'll hit for one. They still only have one land. We could trade the Relic Warder with a Goblin. I don't think I want to give them back their Signet there, so I'll just take the two. Really, really hoping for a land here. Oust the Relic Warder, paying one. Okay. Well, oh man. All right, we're really behind now. Congrats to the opponent, but I think they got this. Like, we can't play anything this turn. Next turn, we know we're drawing Relic Warder. They're going to start making tons of treasures, so they're going to get out of their mana screw. Our hand is stacked, but we just don't have the third land. Given that they were going to oust our Relic Warder, I obviously wish that I had traded. So we take all this. Pretty bad. They have three cards in the hand, all of which are spells. We draw the known Relic Warder. If we draw the land, I mean, yeah, if we draw land, actually, we could get back into it pretty quickly. Teferi, bounce this, hit another land drop, like Council Judgment the next play. So, yeah, it was a little bit of a exaggeration to say that we were, like, massively behind, but I do think that if we don't draw a land in our next two turns, we're probably just dead, and we really would like to draw this turn. Do we just block here? No, I'm gonna play as if we have the land on top. We have 15 mana sources out of 29 cards that we could draw here. There's the Minskin Boo. We have Council Judgment for that, though. We draw the land. Okay, nice. So I think we need to... Hmm. Which one of these do we want to do first? I think we need to Council Judgment the Minskin Boo first. That just does too much. And then we're going to be taking a lot of damage. Then we can Teferi to bounce the Boo. Or Palace Jailer. If they make another copy of the Goblin Shaman, I think oh man, yeah, I will finally bite and accept this trade, which maybe we should have just accepted a while ago. They're gonna put us to, they're hit us for a decent amount of damage. We make this trade. Take 6, go to 5. They get their thing back, but then we can take out their Boo, and I think we're in a pretty good position from there. We'll see what their next play is. Boros Signet, do they crack their other treasure? They don't. Interesting. We're going to need to discard the hand size here. Ooh, never mind. That was maybe the best thing we could have drawn. So let's get the Teferi down. I was planning on potentially playing Palace Jailer, but now we definitely want to play Teferi. Bounce the Boo. Mox even. Okay. I don't think we need to play the Mox yet. Is there any advantage to it? Not really. They might have DAC or something. They will pass. Um, I don't think I'm going to attack with the Esper Sentinel. 1 damage doesn't really matter. I think I actually would accept it and just double block this if they attacked. Weird game. Our opponent has like hit no land drops, but made like 15 treasures off a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. But I think we are pretty ahead now. Our life total is low when we're playing against a red deck, so we could always just get burned out. But their window is very narrow. Pretty soon we'll be able to take over the game with this stacked hand. Now that we finally have the lands flowing. We can get an untapped blue source, Painless Leave with Marsh Flats. Okay, they do make this trade. Yeah, I think I just accept this. This way we get to keep Teferi around, we get to get rid of the Fable, which is like, this card is good. It means anything that they top deck, they could make it clone of and attack with haste. We are losing 2 premium 1-drops, of course, which is bad, but given our hand, I'm not really worried about that. I just want to deplete their resources, and we'll have plenty of resources at the end of it. So they could play a 5-drop here. Gideon Jura. That's fine. I think we're going to Teferi tuck that. Okay, I'm going to get a blue-black land here. Well, that puts us dead to like a burst lightning if they kick it. I guess there's no real reason to do that. All right, we got the Teferi brothers. Good place to be. Okay, this is fine. This is essentially just a 3/3 with like flying or whatever. I think we might Palace Jailer it. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, so let's draw. Wall will be good once we get opposition down. Ooh. Okay, so we have 7 mana. We could play. Do we want to get the Palace Jailer down? I think we do. We could play Ledger Shredder plus Palace Jailer, or Palace Jailer plus Spectral Procession. Let's get the Spectral Procession down, actually. Yeah, I don't really care about the Ledger Shredder. Although, we could, if we want to not go to 4, We could just play Palace Jailer plus Ledger Shredder. I think it's better to get the wide board though. Okay, yeah, let's go. I think we're gonna go Palace Jailer um, plus Spectral Procession. The only way it backfires is if they have exactly Char or Burst Lightning, neither of which we've seen. They also can't even kick Burst Lightning. And this gives them a one turn window, and if they don't have it this turn, then we can opposition them out of the game. I guess we could also just play opposition, though, and Spectral Procession. Maybe that's safer. Yeah, I think that actually is a little safer. So we'll do that. We're gonna need to go to yeah, we're gonna need to go to 4, but we can take them out of. So this means that Char is their only out. Okay, so we'll grab blue black, play opposition, play Spectral Procession, and then we can. So this can give. It can't even give trample. I didn't wait. It can get flying, vigilance, or lifelink. Okay, yeah, this is fine. So we're gonna tap these two lands in their upkeep. This is not advisable. They should have let. So now we can, like, what they could have done is when we tap, they could then sink the mana into Sensei's Divining Top. Now that they're not doing that, I think even Char is no longer an out because we can put them down to just one signet. I'm excited to try these cards. I don't know how good they are. Um, there's at least two that are like this, these sorts of prototype cards. I don't think it matters which signet we tap, really. All right, sweet. Very smooth start. We are yet to drop a game. This deck is, I mean, this is kind of the perfect first deck for me to do in Vintage Cube. It's like the two things that I'm most known for: blue white control and mono white aggro, and this is like a beautiful hybrid of the two. We don't have great removal, but other than that, it really is amazing, and we always win the die roll. So this hand is very good if we find one land. It's just even better if we find two. We have 15 mana sources out of 33 cards. It's functional if we draw a 2-drop in our if we brick like if we draw back to back 4 drops, it's really bad. Like we don't have any play on turn 3. I think it is good enough to keep though. It's close. This Teferi is very bad in the opener. Um, but we have 15 lands plus a number of 1 and 2 drops that would make this hand good. If we didn't have the Cathar Commando, I would ship it. Like having at least one guaranteed play that also can interact is key. Plus, we have two good value lands. If the game does go long, we'll like Caracas plus Colonnade will generate a lot of value for us. All right, Sheldock Isle. Speaking of value lands, that's a good one. Can we get a land? All right, I'll take it. I think we will hold off for now. There's an argument to just playing Cathar Commando now, in case they have counter magic, but I don't even think they would counter it, so we'll just pass. Excuse me. All right, Cathar Commando. And then we're going to attempt to get Adeline down. All right, Adeline. Pretty likely they have a counterspell here, but even if they do, that's like a 1-for-1 trade while we're beating down. Yeah, this is fine. We could have, I guess, played Lingering Souls if we wanted to really play around counter magic, but I think this is fine. I wanted to make them counter it. So they're playing Jeskai, 3 mana. If we draw land, we can play Palace Jailer, which would be great. Rolling Earthquake. Fine. Land. Yes. Okay, let's just jam Palace Jailer. We're not getting a creature, but I mean, this card just wins games. They could have Mana Tithe. I'm not going to play around it. Um, and if this result, oh, they have Force of Will. Okay, fair enough. So now the board's even, but like we have gotten a 2-for-1, and yeah, I mean we're definitely ahead here. Spell Queller. Okay. Um, I think we just play Usher and pass with Spell Queller up then, rather than playing Lingering Souls as well. Okay, now do we jam the Queller? I actually think the answer is yes. It's not a sexy play by any means, but 4 damage is nothing to scoff at. Draw 3 Inspector, so let's attack. We're just gonna go really wide here. Oh, okay. That's not something that I was playing around. Max punished here for this line. So they eat this. We hit them for 2. Then we play Thraben Inspector, and we like. I'm not gonna worry about leaving up Caracas. I'll just save the 1 life because if they have Splinter Twin, Caracas doesn't do it anyways. We need them to not like if they have Mountain Splinter Twin, which is not unlikely. They just win. Um, if we do find a land, we can Teferi tuck this. Okay, there's a red source. Let's draw the land. Come on. Okay, nice. So I think we just go for this first, and then hopefully it resolves and we can attack with everything. Nice. All right, so tuck the Exarch, and then bash for 4. And now we're getting close to threatening lethal because we have Colonnade. So we put them to 9. We can put them to 1 on our next turn if we find a land in our top 2 cards. Good spot. I would love to find some interaction, and I wish we still had Spell Queller in our hand. 5 mana Zealous Conscripts. Fractured Identity to Fairy. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's quite bad. Definitely quite bad. Do we find a land? Their deck looks really good. Jeskai Twin with great counter magic and Fractured Identity. We do find the land though, so let's just put them to 1, I think. Um, I mean, it's kind of close. We could kill the Teferi, but I think putting them to 1 is better. So in hindsight, the best line for us would have been to just not jam the Spell Queller, save the Queller to take out their Exarch. Um, but we're in a good spot. They have a lot of cards, so if they can somehow win, if we can't kill them in this window, it's gonna be bad. But we're gonna have 4 lethal attackers. They do have Deceiver Exarch, which is good in this position. Sunbait Canyon is dead because, well, I mean they can sack it for a card, but they cannot use it for mana. Somehow we're at 14. That's kind of funny. I guess we just use Horizon Canopy a lot, but that's fine. 4 mana? Nope, not 4 mana. They've already played land, so they cannot get any life gain off of Uro, which is pretty key. If they gain some life here, we're just dead. Like, they win the long game for sure. Um, and we don't have that much more gas in our hand. We just need to, like, push through a little bit of damage. Even a Kitchen Finks, I think, would end the game. They also, like, Teferi is really good with Deceiver Exarch. They can use almost all of their mana now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, they sacked that. Okay. All right, close game one. So we're playing against Jeskai Twin. We don't have any instant speed interaction for it other than GT, so that's a little bit bad. Outside of that, is there anything we want? Fractured Identity is just good. There's nothing we can really do to play around that. Ravagers of War is an option. Um, Brindling Mare could be good. I definitely like Ledger Shredder against this kind of deck. I'm kind of leaning towards just running the main deck back. Oh, the Wandering Emperor is funny interaction against the combo. Yeah, let's just run the main deck back. I don't think we really need any of these things. All right, fighting for a clean 6-0 trophy to open off the Vintage Cube season. Opponent is debating whether or not to go first. They decide yes. Ugh. Turn 1 Sentinel is so good, but we don't have the right land. This we can keep. I think I'm going to put back... it's close. I'll put back the Spectral Procession. No, we'll do count... Ah, it's close. We haven't seen that many things that we really need to remove. Yeah, I think I'm going to choose to be proactive here. Keep all the threats. Be good against them, having counter magic for some of our threats. I don't want to be in a position where we're stuck just like playing Drago against a control deck with a Council's Judgment in hand. We're going to play Sentinel on 1. Mother of Runes on 2. Oh, GT is a card that we actually could have sided out. Well, it's fine. It breaks up the combo. It's probably worth it. It's not. This is not the type of matchup you typically want it, and it's not a good draw here, but it's a strong card. Oof. GT into Teferi is not what we wanted at all. All right, Mother of Runes. I would be pretty thrilled if they counterspell this, which it looks like they're considering doing. Esper Sentinel, best card ever printed. We draw another 1-drop. Unfortunately, we don't have an untapped land, but at least we have a land. All right, nice. We do hit the land, so let's... do we swing? I don't think it's worth it to swing into Deceiver Exarch here. Let's just play Spectral Procession. Yeah, that seems better than any of the other plays. And then if they counter this, then we can attack. They might just combo us here, and if so, hopefully we win game 3 on the play. Okay, no Deceiver Exarch is great news. Yuri drawing us another card. Great. Now we can play and equip GT. Get some counters going. Ooh, never mind. We'll just play Teferi. I think I would rather plus here. There's an argument to tucking this, but I think I'm just going to hit it for 4 and get the cards flowing. Then they can cash their Nahiri to trade with our Esper Sentinel, which has already drawn us 2 cards. Or they could plus again, which is also not that bad. If we can find a Spell Queller, the game is essentially locked up. Actually, it's a little preemptive to say that. But the main thing I'm worried about here is the combo. Like, we have plenty of value going here. It would be nice to get another blue source to animate the colonnade, or at least have that option. Red Elemental Blast to kill Teferi. Fair enough. And then they kill the Sentinel. So we can't kill Nahiri unless we draw blue source. Um, okay, I think I am going to choose to get this GT into play. I'll let Nahiri, putting her to 1. And then I'll play the Legionnaire. We could also play the Usher, but I think I'm just going to play the one that hits a little harder. We're also really well insulated against Fractured Identity here, since we're going so wide. The GT would be good against us, but it only works if they get creatures, and who's to say if they have enough creatures for that? Okay, so this deals 5 damage to everything. That's pretty good, but Nahiri isn't even that scary here. If we draw a blue source, I do think I'm just going to kill it, though. Plains, worst draw on the deck. I think we still just jam, though. Lingering Souls. Usher of the Fallen. Equip GT. Alright, now I think we have 2 more basic planes in our deck, which are the 2 worst draws. But Black Land gives us Lingering Souls, Blue Land gives us Colonnade, any spell we can cast. I guess we do actually have 2, or we have Opposition, which would be a bad one. They discard Force of Will, okay. No, nothing with Flashback for them. They do have Colonnade mana available. Ledger Shredder. Okay, draw. Um... Okay, I think I'm gonna budget my soldiers well. I don't want to lose out on attackers. So we're gonna send the Spirit at Nahiri and the Usher at them. No, I'm gonna send this at Nahiri as well. And then if they block the Usher with the Colonnade, we can kill the Colonnade with the GT. Hopefully they're just going for the GT or for the Colonnade play. Okay. Um, let's pump this twice. If they have like a Swords of Plowshares or something, we're in a really bad shape. But if this all works, then we get to kill the Nahiri and the Colonnade. And at the low cost of 1 Usher of the Fallen. Oh, we were supposed to boast. Okay, so we lost out on a 1/1. That could come back to bite us. I'll put this into play. Move this over to the untapped spirit and pass. So yeah, again, we were supposed to boast this before damage went through. We could have made a 1/1 token. That could end up swinging it potentially, but I do think we're in a pretty good spot. They play Time Walk naked, which does nothing. We don't have that much pressure. They're still at 14. Palace Jailer. Okay. Let's attack with everything. Looks like they have nothing. I don't really know what they could be holding. We'll get a Palace Jailer into play. And then I think I'm just going to pass. We could re-equip the GT, but I'm going to keep mana up just in case we draw an instant, like a Queller. We didn't draw it, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter that our GT is not on the Palace Jailer. Wow, they have Ancestral Recall and Time Walk. But now we're the Monarch, so even if they sweep our board, it seems like we're in an okay spot. I really wish we had drawn this Seachrome Coast like before our end step, so we could have put it into play. Now we still won't be able to attack with Colonnade. Glenalendra. All right, that's kind of nice. We get to loot. All right, I'll discard this. Okay, let's untap. Not a bad one. Um, let's attack with everything. Whatever block they do with this Glen here is basically equivalent. It's like we could kill it with the GT first. We could let them block. Are they dead on board? If they no, they're not quite dead on board. This could be 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'll let this happen. Kill your Glen. Do we want to flashback the souls? Honestly, no. I think I'm just gonna crack Horizon Canopy just in case we can find something relevant. That is not quite what I was hoping for because it doesn't let us we can't get the spell queller with it, but that's fine. We can get Cathar Commando. And we could yeah, we no need to like do anything weird. We can just pass. And I don't think they can win through Cathar Commando plus 3 GT counters. Time Twister. Huh. Okay. We'll play our Commando and then let this happen. All right, pretty stacked hand, which is not a surprise since most of our mana sources are in play. And you gotta think it's pretty good from here. What could they have? Like Wrath of God? But if they have, even if they have Wrath of God, we can shock the Hallowed Fountain into play, animate Colonnade, equip the GT to the Colonnade, and then swing for 8. So I don't really know what they could have here. I guess they would need to find Time Walk. There's some sequences involving Time Walk that could get them out of this. Like if they went like Time Walk Balance to basically sweep most of our board, then they can untap with a clearer board and potentially find some sort of weird way to combo us. This is weird. I don't think there's no ninjutsu things they could have here. I'm just gonna take one. We could kill this, but I don't think there's that much of a need. If their plan is to sweep the board, oh my goodness! I forgot they would become the monarch. Okay, that was dumb. I don't think it really matters. They can draw an extra card here, like ancestral recall. Okay. Which one of these do we want to discard? I guess I'll just discard planes. I don't really care about growing the shredder. We'll keep all the gas. Silly though. Obviously, should not let them become the monarch. Okay, this is fine. I'm gonna remove a counter here to save the spirit. And I think they're just dead on board. Um, they're dead on board if we can connive or if we want to animate the colonnade. If we animate colonnade, we could die to the like a red elemental blast though. So Let's play Esper Sentinel into Gideon, ally of Zendikar. They could have Spell Pierce. I don't care. I mean, yeah, we win this in multiple ways. So first we get to draw a card off of Esper Sentinel. Then I will just pay the 2 for Spell Pierce. Then we get our Connive, and we can pitch Wall of Omens. And then that's just lethal. All right, sweet. Really, really smooth trophy there. We won every single game. Let's pull up the deck list. Oh, wait, can we? Yeah. There we are on the leaderboard. Someone got it at literally the exact same minute we did, so Quatch 1 is slightly higher, but I don't think that will last. This was our deck, and like I said, it was just amazing. The perfect fusion of mono white aggro and blue white control. Couldn't really ask for a better way to start the vintage cube season. The deck was strong. It was fast. We had 5 really good 1-drops. So we had, and then lots of good 3-drops too to bring a pretty quick clock and lots of win conditions. And we had really resilient value cards. Between Teferis, we had card draw. Palace Jailer gave us more card draw. Gideon and the Wandering Emperor let us make tokens. So did Souls and Spectral Procession. Yeah, just a good deck all around. We had the mocks, we had the fixing. The removal was bad. We had almost no removal, just this one Council's Judgment. And so if we'd run into more creature decks, that could have been a bit more of an issue. Like specifically mono green would have been a very tough matchup for this deck. But against anything at all controlling or combo-y, it's a really solid deck that can put up a quick clock and be resilient. We didn't really get to do that much opposition stuff, unfortunately, but still a pretty sweet league. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, which will be tomorrow. After not posting for like a month or 2, we're going to be back on the daily schedule, trying to do a video every single day of Vintage Cube season. And I hope you'll join me. Thanks for watching.